We are ready. Ready. Good to go.
Mr. Padukone, growing up in the 60s and 70s, what made you pick up a badminton racket and not a cricket bat or a hockey stick?
Well, my father used to play the sport himself. He was the one who introduced badminton in the state. Since everything was available at home, I started playing badminton. I was only 7-year-old and I had to play against 18-year-old boy because in those days there were no age categories. I lost the match, of course, in the very first round against, of course, a much older player. And maybe even at that time, I didn't want to lose, so I started crying and got a consolation prize. Well, my victory in the All England, I think, was the most cherished, because All England title is like the equivalent of Wimbledon in tennis. Even though I had won my first national championship at the age of 16, so there was a long wait, there was a long gap. I couldn't do much at the international level due to lack of facilities in those days. But ultimately, I was very happy because I was able to put India on the world badminton map, and also I think that probably changed the face of Indian badminton to a large extent. Well, in those days there were no techniques available to to control your mind, so I think it came naturally to me. I think I would take one point at a time, not try to remain in the present as far as possible, not try going into the future or think about the past. It's easier said than done, but somehow I managed, and I think if you have to play at that level, you got to be very strong mentally and psychologically. You can't give in to pressures. I would never wear a new clothing, or would not play with a new racket, newly strung racket. I would because whenever I played with a new, most of the time I've lost. Of course, I think handling a win is easier. If there's a bad loss, you can't afford to keep thinking about it. It's maybe 2 days, 3 days. That's it. Maybe if you win, at the most you can take a week off and celebrate when a major event. But you can't be, thinking that now I won, and so then that will be the only tournament you will win. You will never be consistent and be on the top for a long time. So I think one has got to find the right balance and not overdo it either in victory or in defeat. I think in every field, in all respects, things are better now. Much better playing facilities, much better sponsorship, much better equipment, sparring partners, shuttles, more international exposure, more prize money. I think in all, more media coverage, more in the both press and electronic, better coaching facilities, better coaches, and support staff, whether it's mind trainers, physical trainers, nutrition, diet, and of course internet, and a lot of information is available. So I think if somebody has the the will to work hard, and somebody has the talent, I think it's much easier these days to succeed. Badminton is definitely growing. More number of players, not necessarily only for tournaments, but even club level players. A lot more players want to play this, as an exercise for fitness. And even in competitive level also, when we have a junior tournament, we get more than 1,000 entries. A lot more can be done, because I believe there is a lot of talent, and all the talent is not necessarily tapped. And I think it will help to a large extent. More money would come in. There's more coverage. There's never been so much money in badminton, even in world badminton. If you want something like IPL, where outside people come in, business people invest money, it's literally an investment. So people are investing, they expect certain minimum amount of professionalism to run the sport. So you cannot take it like any other normal tournament which you conduct. So they've got to take the help of professionals, and everything has to be above board, transparent. If administered properly, I think IPL can be a big success going forward. No, not really. I think cricket has a different kind of different set of issues. I don't think there is so much money here that people from outside world and all would. I don't think so. At least I'm not aware of, unless the money grows so big. But at least I think for the time being, I think we don't have to worry about that aspect. You have to do well in the other international tournaments like the All England or the Olympics or the World Championships, regular badminton events, for you to command a good prize. If you have a good ranking, you will get a good base prize. So it would, in that sense, it would IPL would help in enhancing the base price of players, but one cannot, at least for the time being, depend only on playing the IPL and not the other, because if you are not good enough, you're not playing well in the international tournaments. IPL might happen, but you might never get picked in any team. Most of the film-based, I think, Dalga, whatever that, I think that was just a small, it was not a sports-based, I think there was just a one shot was there. The only two, if I can remember offhand, Chak De and Bhag Milkha Bhag, and I think both have been hugely successful. It teaches a lot of good things, which people are not aware. So I think, going forward also, if some filmmakers can make, films on sports people, I think they can be successful. I think it's entirely up to her. Well, maybe P.T. Usha was, I think, amongst the Indians. I think she is one girl who's brought a lot of laurels, in a sport where, almost everybody competes. Saina is definitely another great athlete. So if anybody, hopes and plans to make a movie on them, Deepika would consider that offer. If I'm given a chance, if she wants my advice. She played badminton till she was in school, 10th standard. She played at national level. She competed represented the state also in the national championships in her age category. But her first love was always modeling. So we knew that badminton she would not take it up professionally. So I'm glad that she chose modeling and film, because that was she had more talent there. We could see that. So also one of the reasons why I didn't, or we as parents, me and my wife didn't force her to take up badminton, because we believed in encouraging them in whatever they are passionate about and not imposing our views on them. I think that has helped to a great extent. If you become too obsessed with glamour, you forget that you are a sportsman first, and glamour is just so I think it's important that sports people remember that, and if they remember that and do not compromise, then I think it will work. Well, I think sport teaches you a lot of good things. It teaches you discipline, it teaches you focus, teaches you dedication, because even it need not be, I'm not talking of professional sports persons, even people who just play sports. So some you win, some you lose. So you learn to accept defeat. So all the time, there's a clear difference between people who have played sport and people who have not played any sport at all. You can sometimes make out, because if there is an adversity, or if the challenges in life, then people who have not played sport will not how to handle it compared to a person who has played some sport. So I think then physical, a lot of good things for health, sport which is physically demanding, a lot of people play now to keep fit. So I think a lot of advantages playing a sport, and I would recommend and suggest to all, to as many people as possible, to play some sport or the other. Not definitely not to become champion. You can play at your own level, but just get involved in some kind of physical activity, mainly for the sake of your health.